Yo, what is up, everybody?
And welcome, folks. I
How's
see
everybody
people tuning in
doing?
from all over.
I'm pumped to be live. I've been looking
Mm,
forward to this all week. Great middle of the week roast sessions. We're going to be
hmm
jamming on businesses, roasting businesses, giving hot, fresh ideas, fresh brewed ideas.
Love it. Let's do it. This is awesome. This is what we do inside Empire. For those of you who are wondering, there's a course, there's a playbook, all that stuff. But we do live jams right now about every 2 weeks internally, and then we have guest speakers and just even small group sessions with our membership, depending what people need. Our job here is to sort of unblock you, plug you into your audience, give you the tools, discounts, the frameworks you need to be successful. And nothing makes a difference like these live sessions, like actually connecting one on one, getting that feedback. Most of you put the solo and solopreneur. It's it's all by yourself, locked in a room, working away, coming up with ideas. And our job is to get you out in public and make things move faster. Have a little fun too while we're doing it. So
Yeah, maybe we should do quick intros, Patrick.
yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, awesome. I am community lead here at Late Checkout. So I'm your main point of contact when you join Community Empire, but also I'm a part of anything sort of community action oriented. Greg, for those of you who follow him, which I think is most of you here, is full of ideas, like a human idea machine. And so part of what I do is try to figure out how that translates for people, to turn that into value and create experiences that allow you to, use those frameworks and ideas to make things happen. So I've been at the checkout just over a year. Haven't looked back. Full speed ahead.
Love it. I'm Jordan. I'm a partner here at Late Checkout, work across the holding company. And we were just talking like last week, and we were like, what if we did one of these live jams that we do in Community Empire that everyone loves? What if we did that for everybody? What if we did it for anybody on the internet who wanted to come and check it out? And what if we just gave some free value today? So you showed up, you're ready to get free value. We're going to bring people on stage and we're going to just live jam, just like
Mhm.
what we do in Community Empire 24/7 with the community feed, but also like once a week or once every other week, like Patrick said, um,
Mhm.
in Community Empire. So
Mhm.
Community Empire is how we build Late Checkout, the holding company. It is the ACP framework. We use it to build every business that we build. And we have started Community Empire to share that playbook while we're building the holding company in real time. So you get all of the tools, all of the secrets, how we're building things in real time, what we're learning, etc. It's very meta. We're using our playbook and giving the playbook to help you build with our playbook. So lots of playbooks.
All
Hello,
right. Hey,
guys.
welcome to stage.
Thanks.
All right. Let's have the pitch. Tell us
What's popping?
name, place, and what you're working on.
Sure. So my name is Thibaut. I'm based in Monaco and working on building a bootstrapped AI SaaS. So the very first one that worked for me is AI face swap. So we're in the AI influencer niche, and it's just like really one very simple tool. And that has a perfect product market fit. And so we scale around that. And now we're launching a second one, which is much more complex. It's a kind of AI relighting tool, if you want. So you can just import a front product in it, and you then import a new background that you want for that product, and the AI would literally adapt the depth of field between the product and the background so that it looks like a one image. So you can just shoot any product around the world.
Mm, I love that.
Amazing. What's it called?
It's called Relit.ai. So this one is in private beta right now. We are working with AI influencers to, just to get some momentum around it. Basically, the idea here is that the private beta is a little bit, private for these influencers to try it out. And once we ask them, they would like just tell to their community, either on LinkedIn or Twitter, hey guys, check out this tool I've been using for the past month or so. So that's the idea here.
Sweet. Well, can you spell it?
Relit, Relit.ai. And you can only access the front page, which is not so nice. I mean, we've basically built a wait list for now. The front page of the wait list is not so nice. The thing we added to add some virality, which I got from the Robinhood pre-launch, was that we basically, once you sign up, give you a referral link. And if you get that referral link to your community, you would get like higher up in the wait list. And at launch, so during the public launch, we will give away $5,000 as a pool giveaway to all the private, like the waitlist users. So yeah, and it would be great, like if I could show you in some way what we are able to do. But if you go to my X profile, you can probably see the post I made literally yesterday of this Jane can.
Okay.
And you see here, like,
You want to
the
share?
product.
You want to share your screen?
I think you can. Yeah, hopefully you should be able to share.
Or I can go to your X. Either way.
Pull it up. Landing
What do
page
you-
is nice.
Yeah. What are you looking for help on? Where are you stuck?
Look, I've been reading your newsletter for quite some time. I understand kind of the AECP playbook. I guess I'm stuck at a little bit the execution part. Like I know what we need to do, and I know I just need to do a lot of testing to build this community out. But it also feels that building two AI SaaS is too much at the same time. So I just need to focus more so that I can do an execution. But I guess I would really love if you had some, quick ideas around your whole workflow, how you would approach this kind of SaaS.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think what was the other what was the other
Ultra,
set? There's the product relighting one, and then what was the other one?
yeah, it's called ultraswap.ai. So you can go to app.ultraswap.ai.
Yeah, that's the example right there from his X.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we got
So
the
you can see the
relit.
before up there.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not just a relighting, right? Like it's a full integration. So the only thing you need to do is like import a new background, and then it will imbricate it into the new background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I see it. That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, I think like how I would go about growing these. I mean, right now, what's working really well is like either like giving away multiple credits. Like that's a really low hanging fruit thing to do is give away some free credits. But like really these like AI tools, like how they're growing is it's like a show don't tell situation. It's just like doing more and showing like how these things could be used. So like maybe an ad that you see for a product that looks cool but has like terrible photography. Like you just do like a permissionless project for something like that, and then just be like, yo, like have a little like word mark in the background that it's like, relit with
Yeah.
Relit.ai or whatever.
Yeah.
For example, like I'm making these hats, and I took pictures of them like on this little like photo studio, and I used some AI tools, but like I still don't like them really. Like the background, like the lighting is just not perfect. I'm not a professional photographer, got good lights and everything, but it like a little tutorial on like how to take product
Yeah.
photography and then
Yeah.
like plug in the tool could be really good as well. And like we're just super bullish right now on YouTube as well. As silly as that sounds in 2024, like showing people behind the scenes how you're building these tools. Like, do you follow Dallin? He's
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love
on
that.
YouTube.
I don't think.
He's doing a really good job of just like showing his process, and it has nothing to do with the businesses, but those
Mhm.
those behind the scenes moments really help a lot. Yeah. Someone just
Right.
put a really good comment. Niching down like this is a really good idea
Mhm.
too. Instead
Yeah.
of being everything to everyone, like just be like, we are the food, like the
Yeah.
food photography AI tool,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Absolutely.
And then you
Absolutely.
just like use Google My Business to go and say, like, do you want to take your 3-star restaurant to a 5-star restaurant? How you do that is product photography. And then
Right.
you sell them that. But the split
Mhm.
focus is tough for you. I will say, like, everybody, these like everyone thinks that they should just build one more tool. But I would say, like, what's a free tool? Like, pick one of these. What's a free tool that you could build that
Yeah.
would be
Mhm.
the lead source for the future, the paid tool?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. And Jordan, like, really don't hesitate if you need some testing for these ads. I'll be happy to give you a completely free account, and you can see the power of that. I'm sure you will like it. But yeah, no, you're right on the tutorial thing, the free tool, and niching down. I mean, niching down is the number one thing, and it goes with the positioning of the tool. And like before, even with the face swap tool that I had, I was like, okay, it's a face swap tool, so you can basically do memes, or you can, create AI influencer, and you can do all
Mhm.
these things, right? But then we noticed that the traffic was not to create influencers, right? And so we just
Mhm.
niche down on that. And same thing here. I mean, with the relighting thing, we can literally relight people. I've had like photographers of portraits and stuff reach out to
Mhm.
me and be like, it's very interesting format portrait. But of course, like saying niching down into like
Mhm.
product photography, and then that's one thing that I didn't think about, which was great, like niching down into the food industry. It's like you can go down this rabbit hole, and that's,
Mhm.
yeah, probably the most valuable part. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like wrapping the wrappers, you know? It's like, how do you wrap
Mhm.
Relight AI around food,
Mhm.
around real estate, around like you don't need to change anything, but you just have
Mhm.
like 12 landing pages
Yeah,
that are all
absolutely.
indexed, like relight food, relight this, relight like, and you just niche down like that. And then you could also create like some SEO optimized content on each of those
Yeah,
pages and start indexing.
Yeah,
Um,
like
for
Azar.
those specific things.
Yeah, Azar just said it too. Like, if Shopify store. You've got a product, and it's like I can't move my label maker. But what if it was in the desert? What if it was in an office setting? What if it was in a home setting? And it's like, oh, I can make 10 different images for this and see which one hits
yeah,
on when I got my ads listed, right? And so with Relit, I can just take that one great product shot,
yeah,
resituate it, run those ads, and be like, it's clear that like when I put my product in in a coffee shop setting, it just goes off. And
yeah,
so
yeah,
Operation
absolutely.
Coffee Shop,
That's
right?
right.
I
Like
just
it's
I just
it's
let
like
people run Relit.
quick artistic decisions, like direct
Mhm.
DA, quick DA kind of. Yeah, I love
Yeah,
it.
totally. That's what Hormozy says. He's like, right, you're not running enough ads. You're not spending enough
Uh-huh,
money on
uh-huh.
ads. Well, what does that
Uh,
mean? It means I got to get an ad person. Ad person's got to run these ads. Well, with Relit, now I can say, I can take this one product and I can run 20 ads off of it.
yeah,
It'll take me maybe 2 hours to do it, to get it all set up. And then I'll come back in a week and be like, it just helps them make progress. So the niche matters. And for everyone else, we're getting to the next idea in a second, but for everyone else, like, the niche part is the part that everyone fears, because it's like, oh, there's opportunity out there. But what we found is that the opportunity lives inside that small area.
mm,
And even when you start small, people will say, I don't know if it's really going to pan out for me. It's not about the size of that group that you're working with. It's the opportunity you create inside that space. So all Tebow has to do is help a couple restaurants in the area. First of all, if it's near to you and you help a restaurant out, like, hey, you probably eat for free, right?
mm,
Like, life is good, right? Free Subway. But beyond that, those are the people who make the recommendations. Like, you need those early adopters, and the early adopters come from a niche. If it's just a generic product, I feel zero attachment to you as a creator. If you've taken the time to come down and help me in this space with this problem that I have, that's a meaningful change for me, I for sure I'm going to go back out there and tell people about what it is you do and rep you out. And that's a big game changer for you. What do you got here? What's this?
Yeah, I would say, like, also look at these people, Replica Surfaces.
Wow.
They have absolutely crushed it on content and selling product.
Mhm.
So I would check out what they're doing and kind of combat, like, you don't need with AI, you don't need a replica surface. All you need is, like, half decent lighting and this,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
start ranking against them and
Wow.
others. There's, like, a ton of competitors for
Yeah.
this. But you could steal a lot of their, like, content ideas because the way they frame the how-to videos, and it's super, super helpful.
Man, that's
Mhm.
so valuable. Like, really, I didn't notice this type of companies. I was more like, my competitor is Magnific.ai or Krea.ai, which are like kind of direct competitors. But this is very interesting. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's, like, the worst thing you could do right now is, like, look at your competitors
Yeah,
because you, like, wanna go where they're not going, right? Like,
yeah,
if
Mhm.
these like, everyone's, like, talking about these, like, AI rappers, like, the
yeah,
rappers is not the problem. It's that, like, everyone is looking at each other building them and building
yeah.
each other's stuff, and so it, like,
Absolutely.
creates this, like,
Mhm.
never-ending circle of people building the same thing. So I
Yeah.
would, like, yeah, heavily look at just, like, anti-AI, like, how do you
Mhm.
go to the Google My Business
Right. It's
world
like, at the end
and
of the day, it's like, what are you disrupting? Even in this like tech field, because AI is an advancement. So yeah, no, I,
exactly,
Mhm.
I get that. Yeah.
totally.
Totally.
Yeah, I
Okay.
love it.
Love it.
Best of luck out there. Thanks for coming on. Keep
Yeah.
us posted for
Yeah.
Yeah,
real.
Thank
let
you
us
so much,
know.
guys.
Yeah,
And
let's keep crushing.
yeah, hopefully we'll see you around the interwebs and
For
maybe in
sure.
the community.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure. Thanks, guys.
Me too.
All right, my
No
man.
worries. All right. All
Yo,
right.
all right. That was cool. I love
That was
that.
very cool. Great
Yeah,
shout out on that tokens idea too, right? Just capture, give me your email address, 20 tokens, like start building that audience, build that newsletter, get people in.
totally. All right.
Yeah.
Bringing up the next biz. Got
Uh,
hello Adams.
Hi
yes,
guys, thanks for the
yes.
opportunity.
Of
Of
course. Where
Um,
course.
where are you based?
we are based actually in Latvia, Riga. That's over the pond. We are EU-based
Yeah.
company.
Okay.
So Latvia is
Beauty.
super small, super small country. It's like
Okay.
below Sweden. That's where the team is. So yeah, let me just jump into the idea real quick. So
Mhm.
we have
Please.
built this kind of link tree, but for Airbnb hosts called Bookl.ee. So the initial idea was that I'm sure you're already familiar with the trend that's happening with Airbnb and all of the industry with short-term rentals, vacation rentals, that more and more guests are kind of going after these unique stays, right? So all the
Right.
tree houses, container houses,
Mhm.
all that good stuff, right?
Yurts.
Um, and we just noticed that there is actually kind of no good way for kind of convert that traffic from social accounts. So imagine a glamping site doing reels, TikToks, whatever, that get a massive awareness about their property, but there's no good real way to kind of convert that traffic into real bookings. So we saw that a lot of hosts were actually using Linktree, but Linktree for that purpose is a really kind of bad solution. So what we
Okay.
simply did is we took the simple, easy idea of Linktree, and we just add on top of it a booking engine. And we also display reviews, real reviews for the host
Okay.
on the Linktree page or the Bookly page, if you
Okay.
will. Images, nearby things to do, and all that stuff. So that's the idea. Yeah, here you can already see some of the kind of examples.
Okay.
But yeah, and essentially our current challenge is obviously distribution, reach, how we get to the hosts. And what we've noticed is that, funny enough, a lot of these hosts are usually older folk, so they're not so good with tech. Even if the solution itself might be something that would really fit their needs and perhaps solve a real problem for them, they are not so how to say, kind of ready to change, right? So they're kind of doing this stuff, bookings and all that stuff, kind of the legacy way. So that's a real challenge for us. So what we've been doing actually is kind of educating hosts a lot, doing workshops, all that stuff on Facebook groups. That's where a lot of hosts are sitting on.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, just tinkering with other ideas on how to reach them as well. SEO doesn't work for us. There's no search volume for the keywords. organic content is slow, but works. Some influencers within the industry, but yeah. So that's kind of quick intro, if you will. Curious for your idea.
Yeah. Well, first off, I love it. This is incredible. I literally talked to someone this week about like Linktree for X. I think there's
Yeah.
so many cottage industries that need better websites that isn't Squarespace, or like that isn't like Wix. And
Yeah.
they need the tools and like, it's a very similar to how like Stan Store has like built the like link tree for like TikTokers. So I think I love this idea. So what you're struggling with is just distribution, basically.
More or less, yeah. So quickly of the channels we've tried out already, we are doing YouTube. So just showing hosts what can you do with the tool itself.
Yeah.
The idea there is that there is some search volume around the keywords that kind of are in line with our interests and all that stuff, right? But not a lot. Um, Instagram, call DMs, they're slow. Not a lot of them actually read DMs. We also tried to find some workarounds of the Airbnb platform itself, how we can kind of be as fake guests and reach out to the hosts, and then some way or some shape or form plug our solution within the messages. But that is, I mean, we've got some accounts already banned, so Airbnb is good, just kind of protecting hosts and their contact details. What has been working well for us is Facebook groups, but they're super slow, they're clunky, they're clumsy.
Mm.
And I mean, I've got already like 10 Facebook accounts, personal Facebook accounts banned because these groups don't like obviously promotions, all that stuff, right?
Mm. Mm.
um yeah, so kind of finding the channel, finding where there's real reach, where there's real growth, has been essentially the biggest challenge for us. But for the users or existing clients, I mean, we are getting a bunch of good feedback, so it's kind of keeps
Mm.
us motivated to push forward with the tool. So yeah.
I know there are like Airbnb influencers out there, right? Or educators who are telling people like how to set up your Airbnb for photographs, how to run a great customer service experience. Like, have you thought about partnering with some of those folks to
Yeah.
be either part of that conversation? What does that look like?
Yeah. So there are there are these influencers, obviously, but there's not a lot of them. And probably like the biggest one has like, I don't know if the following matters or not, but like 15K YouTube subscribers, and that's pretty much it.
Mm.
We are working closely with one of them. He's been actually quite instrumental to our growth. He did a couple of YouTube videos free of charge, which is phenomenal,
Mm.
about the tool itself. Um, yeah, I see what you're getting at. Probably that is the channel we should double down on with the influencers. But I mean, we're kind of trying to find our hockey stick moment, right? And it's just day by day, it just feels it's perhaps
Mm.
it's not just that, right? Perhaps it's just like simple, kind of steady, constant growth for the tool itself, simply because the industry is super niche. We've also tried kind of um, with Facebook ads as well. But Facebook ads, I mean, you cannot like target such a niche audience,
Yeah.
so it doesn't work for us. Obviously, there's also these conferences, but I'm not sure if like these
Right.
conferences is the way to go. But yeah,
Mm.
Have you seen Robuilt?
yeah, I know this guy. I've been
Yeah.
reaching out to him a bit as well. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, he's got like a huge following on mainly
Mhm.
YouTube. But like I think what what I would do if I was you would start a community for Airbnb operators to like basically help them run their business. So you take the tool away, you take Bookl.ee out of the equation. And you're like, yo, we're just here to help you run your Airbnb profitably. Like here's how you scout, here's the tools that we use. Whether that's you or someone that you hire or partner with to run that community, it can be completely free with the whole premise of like basically building your fish tank that you can fish in. So right now you're fishing in the ocean. What
yeah,
community allows you to do is fish in a fish tank. you know? So like you need to be creating content that drops them into like a free school community, and then you just be like overwhelm them with value through the various different things that you can do. Like they have more problems than just direct booking, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and direct booking is like how you unlock profitability, really. Is like,
Yeah.
own your audience, get off Airbnb, don't get delisted, don't, all the stuff that everyone always talks about. Also, all of these like operators are running Instagram accounts about the house,
Yeah.
right? Like they all
Yeah.
have Instagrams that they're posting about the house. They're basically building Bookl.ee as an Instagram page. So I think that's a really good opportunity to just like build a scraper and find like my friend runs one at the beach, and there's this like Wave Wrangler 30A. Right.
Mm.
And it's like they're posting all the stuff about the house, when they have deals, when they have openings, all of this stuff. Like I know that if you DM'd them and we're like, yo, you should check this thing out, we'll build you a website for your house in 10 minutes. They'd be like, of course, Um, so yeah, I think it's just like around framing them. It's like we built a tool to help you get more direct bookings.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that makes complete sense. That's the way to push forward. Yeah, we have also kind of built our own AI directory with all of the tools and software services out there for Airbnb hosts.
Perfect.
Just
Yeah,
an
that's your magnet. You
Yeah,
just go out and say, hey, listen, put like, hey, enter your email. We'll send you access to this database of all the tools that we've found. We'll save you all the searching, and you get an invitation to our community. Inside the community, you don't have to have that much stuff in there. You could just run a session like this once a week and be like, show up, bring your problems. What are you fixing? Like, we're in Florida this week.
Yeah.
What do you need to do? And just adding some value there, because it again, you're just increasing your, don't fight the algorithm, but create the people who are there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Speaking of the algorithm too, I wonder, like, for those older people, like the inverse too is for those older owners, they're probably saying, I need to build a website. They don't even know that they could not have to do that. They can achieve their goal with what you're offering them
yeah,
faster and for less money. So like, how do you find people who are, when there's people are searching, how to like build my own Airbnb website or something, that you
yeah,
show up in those search results. So people are like, stop wasting time and money. Like direct bookings have never been easier. Some version of that I think could be cool. Index for that. Like put yourself between that really complex and expensive solution and where they are, because you're so much faster. And lastly, I wonder if there's a way that like people, like Jordan was talking to the last guest about showing, like on that main page, if I could, if I could put my Airbnb URL inside a box and you would show me what it would look like in the frame below, like, oh, here's my home. Like I just paste it in or whatever the number is, and then it shows up in the screen below and I can see it. If there's a way to sort of make, and people be like, oh, get this. And they'd be like, oh, I love that. Like that's sexy. I want it like that, as opposed to like features and numbers. I think that would be for your consumer much easier to be like, yeah, I'll see, what does it look like? I wonder. It's just like putting those fake, look at the glasses on your face, 3D at home. Like, can I put in the
yeah,
URL, see a version, get it? Like, I'm gonna buy it. Like, that's awesome. I want it. Make this happen. Some
yeah,
version of that.
yeah. And that's amazing idea. We actually have that, but it's behind the kind of sign up page. Once you sign up, drop your Airbnb link, and we generate the page immediately, literally
Oh
10
yeah,
seconds.
that's your move
All
then.
of the images, descriptions, text, it's already there. You just drag and drop, change up the colors, voila, you're ready. But I mean,
Yeah.
bringing that perhaps to the landing page could boost the conversion.
Yeah, it's like to claim your site, give us your email.
Yeah,
and then like
sure.
to use the site, pay us. Like
Well,
you also, when you reach out to people, if you have that like link engine, just why wouldn't you just like find their Airbnb listing, do that for them, and be like, yo, I built you a website.
Yeah.
Like you can get more direct bookings with Bookl.ee. I built the website for you. Feel free to claim it.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay.
some hustle
Yeah.
there. I love it. It's gorgeous. It's a great concept.
For sure.
I think
love
I
it.
think there's some just subtle changes, and we've had a couple people inside Empire who are Airbnb owners, either bulk in California or a
Yeah.
couple down on the Florida Keys. And this is right up their alley. They are, to your point, smart, but they're affluent. They're not technologically savvy. They don't, when they think mobile first, they think they got to build a whole website and get someone like, and they don't realize that this is something that exists out there.
Yeah.
So I think if you can break into that cycle, because that network all knows each other, like, 50-year-old and up
Yeah,
Airbnb
exactly.
owners, where do they hang out? Like, what do they do? And
Exactly.
once you get a couple of those folks, they'll be like, it's so much easier, and to claim it. I love that flow, Jordan. Like,
Yeah.
look at it, claim it, pay for it, like done, it's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
This guy,
I'll keep this.
this guy has built, Isaac French has built like a whole like destination Airbnb business called Live Oak Lake. They have like 80,000 on Instagram, but I think they did like 90% direct bookings, based on their own website. So, he's definitely a cool guy to check out. And what they've done is pretty incredible. He ended up selling this to private equity, late last year.
Yeah.
This group. So like this could be an interesting group to reach out to as well. It's like what these one-to-many relationships, it's like, hey, I could contact Hotelier Co. and they have 500 properties.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, then you just do a bulk license deal with them to like build Bookl.ee.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One more thing, perhaps last thing. I'm not sure how much time we have here. Don't want to take up too much time, but within the industry, we have there's these large competitors called these property management systems, right? So these are kind of big, old, clunky tech guys. Essentially, their offering is a simple kind of workflow platform for short-term rental vacation operators, right? And another idea we had is to essentially integrate with those guys, because they have a massive portfolio of existing clients, operators, managers of properties, and just kind of slip under the radar. And then, hey guys, there's this simple, easy, quick way for you to build your website. And by the way, we just integrated with your main kind of software provider. If you want to check out, give us a call or whatever. But yeah, that's just perhaps a unique characteristic for our industry here. But yeah.
Well, you absolutely can go the agency or small agency play based off of this to when people see what you've done, and then you could spin off and then do more of that at scale, like, because you have the capacity and the team. But I think right now, like Jordan's saying, number one is, how do you make that fish tank? If it's the free sample to the newsletter or to an email squeeze play that says, hey, get your domain, etc. Figuring out that flow that gets those people to convert. And then also, what's the pressure time? Like, this came up last week because one of our members was, hey, my wife told me I got to rent out my 4 Airbnbs in Florida.
Yeah.
He's like, what do I do, Community Empire? And because for them, it's the off season. So there's every geographic region has a time when they reset. And so when finding, as the globe turns, where are people resetting? Are they resetting in Thailand now? Then they're resetting in Australia. Then they're resetting in Hawaii. Then they're resetting. So what is those off periods when people are making changes? Because it's when the calendar's closed, right? I'm trying to book a place in Spain right now, and I can't get there because he doesn't release it until September. Like, what is that window? Because that's the time when those owners are making changes. So they don't want to touch it when they're in the middle of running it and trying to manage everything. It's too much work. So the downtime period may also be an interesting, like 10 things to do when you're in the downtime, or whatever they call it, the downtime for your Airbnb. What do you do for the next season? Like, whatever that is, that's another lead magnet. And that could be aggregated stuff you've pulled off, tips, whatever. That's another lead magnet to get them into your space. So, all right.
Yeah.
Let's keep this going. You can keep messaging us on Twitter, or check us out at communityempire.co. But I'd love to hear more about what you're building. Like, you're already flying, so it's amazing.
Appreciate this. Thanks for the ideas.
No worries.
All right, my man. Have a good day.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Amazing.
I love seeing that beautiful stuff. I totally love it. All right. I see some other people messaging us, but I can't find them in.
Yeah. I've
Give it a
got
shot
one that's
here.
pretty interesting. I'm not sure if Rob's gonna come on, but
Let's see.
I'm super interested in it.
Rob, if you're out there, hit us in a
Yeah,
comment.
Rob, come in here. I wanna hear
What's
from
the
you. But
this
otherwise,
divorce school?
yeah, I'll pull it up and talk about it. Oh, he's here. You're not
I'm trying to
here.
invite him.
Oh, you gotta click that link I sent you and come backstage, my man.
Oh yeah. Sorry, it's a
We need
little.
we need to see Rob.
There's a bouncer.
The people want to see Rob.
Let's do this. And for the folks who also are messaging us, we'll hit you back in the DMs as well if we don't get your idea up on stage today.
Yes.
What do you got here?
All right.
Oh, I remember Rob.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Rob.
What's up? What's up?
Thanks for having
Good
me
to
on.
see you again.
Of course. Tell us about
Yeah.
what's cooking.
Yes, so I got a big Instagram. It's called WTF Divorce. What the fuck divorce? It's probably 80% women, 20% men thinking about divorce, in the middle of it, figuring out life after. We post like funny memes and stuff, but also educational stuff. We got a very engaged audience. And I've been thinking I need a product. I've been building this for 2 years, and I tried Circle, kind of lost steam on it, but I'm a huge Hormozy and Greg Eisenberg fan. And I'm like, all right, screw it. I'm building this school. So last week I threw it up. I got school.com/divorce. And now I'm in the let's build and launch.
I love it. What's the plan? Where can we help?
Well, yeah. So I guess I'm always confused as to, it's always challenging to get people from Instagram free to the platform. I've always tried like join the community, take a course, doesn't really work. So I feel like we need some kind of incentive, some hook. I think I'm okay doing it free to start, but maybe that's a mistake. Basically, like a million options. So I'm always open to experts on like how to fill this bar up.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. I love this. I mean, I don't love divorce, but I do love that you're helping people with a challenging time. Yeah.
I think we
So
want it
what
to
are you
be
doing right now?
So
Like, what do you want to
community
be
is
doing?
part of it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you're great. I'm just like, what are you doing with it right now? Is it just it's just content? So we've got just the A figured out, right?
So I have the class. Basically, we produce so much free content that I feel like just packaging it in a better, like, here's step 1, step 2, at least starting that for free. So if you click on our classroom, you could see I've already started to build out the framework and just kind of like thinking about, what's the easiest, the least friction way to get people in, and then also how to stop myself from giving away everything for free, because that's something I struggle with, and I'm like, eventually I gotta monetize this too.
Totally. Yeah. So what I would do is host a lead magnet in here, like whether it's a checklist or a prep list. I don't know. You're the expert. And you know what resonates with your audience, but like host a lead magnet in here and basically use that to funnel people into here. We call that a community magnet. And then have maybe like one event a week where it's just like, like if you have a course, maybe you talk about like the like problem aware situation of a course, like thinking about divorce or going through divorce, whatever. Like here's like we're just gonna jam on like what you should be thinking about, how you should be thinking. And it doesn't need to be like people come on stage. You can just like literally talk to a group, just to build like the trust affinity. Because I could see like people being like, it's weird if I'm like on screen talking about my divorce with random people on the internet. Maybe not. But yeah, that's what. Are you building an email list at all?
I got about 1,500 people. Obviously, the Instagram is flowing a lot more, and I know email's important. I want to start very early, but I also don't want to send to some bare bone thing. I want there to at least be some value. And it sounds like I even got a divorce coach, another guy, which is kind of rare to have guys in this space. He agreed to do a call, like you're saying, at 2 p.m. tomorrow. So we're gonna promote it Instagram with like a mini chat, like kind of want to hear more about this. I guess the question is, it sounds like you say do it on Zoom and be open for everybody versus like do it recording it on Riverside? You'd say just kind of like open it up?
I would open it up because that's like a
Okay.
free lead magnet, and then you
Yeah.
record the Zoom, or you can do it in Riverside now, or like do it on StreamYard, even like what we're doing right now, like we're recording this, where it's like everyone's in here. We're gonna package it up. We're gonna put it on YouTube and show like the live jam, right? Like that's like what we're exactly what we're doing right now. I think, yeah, like I think that's a really good way to do it, but I would only post the link inside the free school.
Okay, so
So it's like if
the
you want to join, check out like here's how you get the link. So like a lot of the like drop shipper boys and like the kind of crypto crowd does a lot of like join the discords.
right.
That's basically this, but like a lot more approachable than a
It's funny.
Discord.
I told my 12-year-old kid what I was doing, and I said, "Oh, do you want?" He's like, "Oh yeah, they make us join Discords," and I was like, "Yeah, it's kind of like that." So you embed the Zoom link that's open to anybody, but you have to click school.com/whatever.
Yeah, it's like you got this thing right, right here, right?
Yeah.
Like the Q&A. It's like, yo, we're doing a Q&A tomorrow, mini chat if you're interested. And just like your Instagram is like the world, right? And this school community is like the nation.
Mm.
And the email list is like your state. And then any products or offerings is like your city. And then if you have any products that are more intimate than that, it's like your neighborhood. So like you want to move people from like the globe to your neighborhood. And that's how we think about using the ACP funnel in a more tangible way, is how do we move people from like aware of us to all the way like in our neighborhood. So I think I would prioritize the school group over email, because you get their email from the school and you can say like, yo, we send this weekly email, like sign up to the Beehive or whatever you're using. So I would go like Instagram, TikTok. Like if you're on TikTok, I would definitely just repurpose videos there, to school, to free school, to paid product TBD. And that's the flow I would do. I could see this being like a good like mastermind group too.
Yeah, I would say that's my piece right there too. Like I would say we've had a couple of people do really well with big Instagram followings just doing Instagram lives. And given your following on Instagram, the divorce lawyers or other people in that space would love to be on your channel for an interview on an Instagram live about what's going on, because they just don't have that reach. So you can instantly have credible people show up to talk. And so the challenge for you is just that when people are going through divorce, it's not something they're comfortable being themselves publicly about it. So they can listen, comment, follow, tag, whatever, but they like to show up in a community and be like, my name is Patrick and I'm getting divorced, is a very different emotional step for people. So I could see if you created a calendar of stuff, every month you did a topic, you did a live on it, and you said to people, here's my guest, Jordan's my guest, we're going to talk about it, and you've got to be inside the community, et cetera, to get the resource list, get your questions answered, et cetera, because people come in with a specific pain. They don't need a store full of divorce information. They have a singular divorce problem they're trying to solve right now. So get on those people's radar, and when you bring them in, they're like, oh my god, I came here for this, but I had no idea there was all of this other stuff, and I'll get this and go. So I think there's some value there.
Yeah.
All right, we got to keep moving. 10 more minutes.
We lost him, but Rob, I love it. I would love to see you in Empire, because we would jam on this, and we would grow this puppy. So get in here and let's make it happen. I think one thing you can do with such a big Instagram audience is tease the things live, like have a little pregame live. We've done that a lot, where we do a little pregame live on Instagram or Twitter Spaces, and be like, yo, if you want to join us, like link in bio, come on in, and we'll continue the chat there, and it converts pretty well. So all right, we're gonna bring up the last one. We got Harry. Harry,
what's up, dog?
I can't hear you. You're muted.
Hold on, we'll get him.
Yep, got it. Can you hear me?
Awesome.
There it is.
What's up, Patrick?
What's up? Good to see you.
So I've been podcasting since 2014. I started a second show called the Vertical Farming Podcast in 2020, and I recently merged with someone who's doing something similar in the newsletter space called igrownews.com. So now we merged and we've created the AgTech Media Group, and we're in the process of trying to raise some funds. But we're trying to. The model is really the morning brew for AgTech. So the first thing we've spun out is something called agtechcompanies.com. It's a directory where we're getting people to pay, companies to pay in the space to be premium listed. So I think there's just like a lot of moving parts. So we're just kind of maybe just trying to brainstorm some ideas for what's the best way to move forward. Like if and when we do get a little bit of funding, we're looking maybe for about a 500K right now. Where's the best place to put that? We're thinking like SEO optimization, but obviously anyone who specializes in creating media properties, multi-niche media properties, a la Morning Brew, a la Hustle, I think is what would be helpful and interesting to learn about.
Okay. I love it. Sweet. What's it called? AgTechCompany.com.
The main company is igrownews.com. That's the news site. That's sort of like the hub, and we're going to build that out. And so the second company we've spun out of that is agtechcompanies.com. It's like a directory. We're just using a WordPress directorist tool for that. So we're and then the third property, if you will, would be my show, Vertical Farming Podcast, which is I target specifically CEOs and founders of vertical farming companies. That was the intent, to get high visibility. So I've got that audience. It's the number one show in vertical farming. It's super niche, and I've been to indoor farming conferences. So I'm building up a lot of visibility and name in the space, so people know who we are from these properties. So we're trying to leverage that to kind of figure out how we pull it all together into a cohesive, that's the model we keep coming back to, the Morning Brew.
Beautiful.
Okay.
This is cool. iGrow News is cool. I really like this. What do you want to build a media company? What's
around
the goal?
Yeah, AgTech. We want to build it at AgTech and look at other people who are doing similar stuff, and maybe as we raise funds, see if they want to be acquired or come on board, and really just build it up. And there's other companies that have been legacy companies in the space. There's a company called Meister Media, but they just focus on print magazines, and they've got like 15, 20 people in their company. So right now it's just me and my partner Sepper, who runs iGrow. So it's literally just the two of us. And what's probably going to happen is I'll have to, if we do get this initial round, I probably have to be CEO of this company, which I've never been before. So that's interesting. So just kind of just challenges and thinking about what I need to think about in terms of like possibly growing the team, or the end goal would be in 2 to 3 years to just see if there's a way to get an acquisition or have someone acquire us for like a 4 or 5x multiple.
Okay. So the question, what's keeping you up at night, or what's the biggest thing that we could help with?
Where to find resources that have expertise in these types of morning brew type platforms, and what are best practices for quickly, building up subscribers, viewers, because that's what we need. If a lot of this is sponsorship driven, we need traffic, right? Because that's what they want to see, right? They want eyeballs. And so what's the best way to sort of ramp up while still staying within our lane, but also quickly ramp up and get more visibility, or figure out, who are the SEO folks we need to speak to, or, what's the content best practices. I know the guy from Morning Brew just released a long post, I think it was on Medium recently, about how they built that. So we've been devouring that, just kind of on repeat, just watching what he did, that model.
Amazing. Yeah, I think best practices, I mean, there's a bunch. But I think what's the main incentive for people to find out about this or sign up for this, and who are you targeting, and what's their biggest problem, and what could you solve with a really compelling lead magnet? I think people have newsletter fatigue, where it's just sign up to get the morning, get smarter about ag tech in 5 minutes or less every week, blah blah blah. It's just not super valuable at this point. So I'm wondering that everyone has real problems. So I think the opportunity for newsletters is to solve those real problems with value, uncover the secrets that are being talked about in boardrooms that aren't being publicly shared. Like get inside, fly on the wall at XYZ. I don't know the industry.
Yeah.
But Wyatt's got a good shout here. Ag Uncensored and Upstream Ag Insights sounds interesting.
Yeah.
And then there was a guy that came on My First Million. What was his name? Eric Van Trump. That
Something
runs.
like that. Yeah.
I would watch that episode because he was
Okay.
just like a hoot to like watch. Really. And he's just a really funny guy. And he does like $18 million a year on a paid newsletter.
Okay.
And it's like it's like Warren Buffett Insights meets ag tech. And he was, you know, it was just like really interesting to hear about ag tech. I think what you do have going for you is like this is a very hot, misunderstood, undervalued, and kind of underrated area that a lot of people that aren't like green thumbs or like that they're interested in it. Like for me, for example, it's like I'm interested in that because I have no clue about it. Like I'm always fascinated when I see a startup that's got like a yield improvement, you know, like crazy reporting, like, you know, just like basic stuff to you, but it's really interesting to just the layman. So I think there's some cool angles you could plug in the newsletter too to get like laymen involved if you wanted to. Anyway, so I think that, I mean, it seems like you're doing a lot of things though. You know, right now.
I would say the one thing I want to dive in there is on the brand, but the brand voice. I think Sean Puri just did an episode with Dave Perel, and he was talking about sort of the Milk Road and how they wrote it to just make it be like, give you a reason to open this thing every day, right? Just to say something that made you smile, made you laugh, made you want to come back. And so it wasn't so much about, you know, crypto up, crypto down. It was like, this is just, I get a laugh out of this, but there's also some insight inside here. What is the brand voice? Is it like aspirational upstart? Is it like the gentleman that Jordan mentioned, which like, is it more like grassroots, like haven't shaved in days, like dirty trucker hat, you know, like my hands are covered in, you know, lime, or like, what is the vibe that just says that this really connects? Because right now it's very like VC this to me is like a VC thing, which is like they're funding companies that are changing the world, but there's no change the world energy here. It's a website that has it just seems very impersonal. So I think a good direction for you maybe to say, we're the ag tech news, especially if like Wyatt's saying there's other folks out there. I was like, why do I want to listen to this news versus others? Like, what's the what's that hook for me, right? That I'm like, oh, I love listening to this. Yeah, it's the same news, but like, I watch this one because they talk to me, or they have this segment, or there's a guest, or there's something you do. And I think coming to some kind of personality, because that's what people will want. They can get their news, whatever it is. So why do they want your take on it?
Yeah, and what we're noticing is when we do the demographics, if you look at some of those older publications or media companies, they skew into the 40s and 50s because they've been around longer. But because we're newer, we're in the 30 to 40 range when we look at like the demographics. So I think we're primed because of the podcasting. None of those other media companies have been focused on podcasting since I started this aspect of it with a podcast. You know, it's brought in that visibility. So we're going to look to add like new shows and just kind of be more of the new media type stuff for them.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, how many listens does your pod get?
It's really small. It gets about, you know, 500 to 2,000 depending on the guest, but I can pull in $16,000 a quarter for sponsorships.
Yeah, I mean, like
it's so niche. It's so niche, and they want an audience.
You should plug yourself into it.
Yeah,
that's how you could grow your list. It's like talk about the lead magnet or whatever you create, and be like, if you want it, grab it here.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, you use your own media properties to grow this as well.
Yeah.
Maybe don't sell one sponsor for the quarter and like plug yourself in as a sponsor.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, we just updated, like we've been testing out passion fruit to kind of pull together the whole sponsorship package across all the different properties, I think. And we're just yeah, I mean, people are noticing. We just had a conversation with someone at Siemens to do a small sponsorship on the podcast. So we're slowly building up that visibility.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on and thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
And
we
thanks
love
for
it.
everyone in the chat too for the links. That was helpful.
Yeah,
Yeah, those are
incredible
great
ideas
links.
in the chat today. We love the chat was going crazy. It's like
Mhm.
a lot of good ideas in the chat. That's all we
Yes,
got
Curtis.
today. Thank you guys, so much for coming. And
Totally.
if you have a business that you're trying to grow and want to do this more with 400 other people, you should check out Community Empire. We have a free 5-day course about the ACP funnel at communityempire.co/free course. And hit us up if you need anything or want to jam. If you like this, let us know. We might do some more. We might make this like a once every month type thing, or we will be posting the recording in
YouTube.
On the YouTube. So check us out there as well. Thanks so much.
Yeah, we'll be back for sure. Probably in a month, Curtis. We got you. But you can find us on socials everywhere else. Don't hesitate. I read all those emails.
If you want us back sooner, we'll see you in Community Empire.
All right, folks. Have an awesome day. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.